single on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, give it a day. I'm just single. I'm single, not pretend single. Say no. What's up, everybody? We are live over Facebook as well. So we're just live. We live and we're doing this. Single on a Saturday night, every fourth Saturday of the month. I think that people are COVID crazy because we normally have everybody on COVID. I mean, everybody on COVID. Everybody here. But I think they'd rather be in person. I think we might have to move this to in person eventually. I think we're ready to go back to Fridays. Anybody ready to go back to Fridays?
Yeah, ready to go back, but if it ain't right, it won't be at Fridays.
Well, everything right.
Yes.
We follow social distancing.
No, we doing, you know what? I ain't been out nowhere publicly like this since March, but I'm actually going to Wild Money's event next week. So,
hey,
I'm progressing. I'm growing. See?
Baby steps.
Well, Viva La Vie, she's back. They're following, she has her whole class and they're following all the social distancing guidelines and all the temperature checks and things like that. So it's time to come back. I think that will, I think some people are just really tired of being in this little box here.
Yeah.
I really do. So everybody, single on a Saturday night. Today we are talking to Viva La Vie. She wrote the book, How to Keep Your Effing Man. And Why Money, the author, wrote the book, The Lifestyle Volume 1, right? So my thing is to combine the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be a swinger, do a threesome to keep your man? So when you're talking Viva La Vie, you talk about all the things to keep your effing man, but would you do that? Was that part of I don't know, keeping your man?
Well, in my opinion, as far as the book is concerned, what I talk about in my book is first and foremost, knowing yourself, knowing what you want and knowing what you don't want. So honestly, I'm kind of up in the air about that question, because sometimes you don't want to feel like I'm doing this strictly for you, because what is the enjoyment, out of that if you're literally doing it for your partner? However, if you know you want to be with someone that likes to swing and you do too, then you go right ahead. But do I believe that you should do it to keep your partner? No, I do not.
Okay, good question. Do you, Yvette Money, Why Money? Do you think that if your partner says, "Hey, let's go swing," and this will make him happy, would you do it? Or whether it's man, woman doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was pretty much going to say the same thing. You have to do what makes you happy, and your partner shouldn't force that on you. It have to come with some compromise. Some rules to it, because swinging is not just about having threesomes. So you have to, if you're going to get involved in it as a couple, you have to know what works for you as that couple and the limits you're going to take, because when you did get together, y'all didn't get together on those terms. You got together wanting to be with each other. But if you want to spice things up in the bedroom, you still have to stay in that comfort zone with the both of you, because it can also ruin the relationship as well.
I can. I would think it was, but my thing is, if a man suggested, right? If he suggested, not saying you're doing it for him, he suggested. He said,
Right.
"What you think? Hey boo, what you think? You want to go try it a little bit?" And you like, well, you go. It's not like you want to do it to keep them, but don't we all have to compromise on some things?
Yeah, that's why, you have to have some kind of compromise. And if he suggests that with his partner, then, me as the partner, I have to be able to, acknowledge the fact that my man was open enough to come to me instead of doing it behind my back. So I would have to give him some acknowledgement for that, and applaud him for coming and being open with me. and being comfortable to be open with me like that. Because if you have a relationship that is like that, where you can be open and honest with each other, that shows the true friendship in that relationship first.
Right. That's basically what it boils down to. Because when we talk about what you would do with your partner, for your partner, and things like that, you got to be able to be open to the conversation. Like, a lot of people get in relationships and they don't even be upfront about what they are into sexually. And then they're with a person who probably has mad boundaries. And then once the conversation come up about having threesomes or going to swing and shit like that, it really boils down to the person that's bottled up, like, whoa, you want to do what? But in reality, you got to have that conversation early, because you don't want to be with someone that you're either settling with sexually, if they're not meeting your needs sexually. So that conversation kind of needs to happen early to know, what are you into? What are the things that you into? And if swinging not one of them, then I'm not going to compromise what I'm not into just to keep you.
And then you may have that relationship where, it wasn't on neither one of your minds, when you first got together. Neither one of you were thinking about that. But things are repetitious now in the bedroom. You want to spice things up. Or this person may think of, like, wow, I want to try this, because they actually, they're maturing, sexually. And they want to try some new things, And you should know if your partner, I just really feel like when you first get together, you should have a partner that you can talk to and don't get so offended. And so that's what you should have from the start. And I really believe that's a soul friendship in your relationship. Some people get together based on looks, and then they build their friendship, and and they're learning each other, and then they get so far into their relationship that they don't know nothing about each other. They don't know, what TikTok and the representative left the building. You know what I'm saying? And now you dealing with that true person that you really truly didn't know, because the honeymoon phase is over. Absolutely. So I just really feel like in every relationship, if you base your relationship off of friendship first, whenever you get to that conversation, you should know, if your partner is that type of partner that you could actually be open and honest with. And that's what you should look for in a relationship anyway,
You try to. All right.
And just let me add from a man's perspective.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put it back on.
Let me add from a man's perspective. Both of what you ladies said was absolutely correct. And let's just take it back a step further. You have some people that are very, very vanilla, even in the vanilla relationship. So if there's no education, if there's no knowledge, if it's just curiosity, first of all, those I think Viva La Vie said it, everybody is not, down for everything. And you have to even know what kind of person you're dealing with before that even becomes a curiosity, because communication is the foundation for every solid relationship, no matter what you're going to be dealing with and talking about and going to be doing with each other. But some folks think those type of aspects of a relationship are like, playing cards or playing video games or something, where you can just hit a button and it's on or off, and it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So, and even to the degree now, I'm hearing that, strangely enough, it's more fellas that aren't into it as much as people have been led to believe or might believe, and they're the vanilla ones in their relationships or what have you, and the woman and the lady wants to try some things, and it's just kind of awkward for some of the fellas to be like, man, I'm not into this. I don't want nobody seeing me this. I don't want to do that. So, just the communication makes the best foundation, And I always say, before you even get physically involved with anybody, those are conversations you actually should be having so that you know who you're dealing with before you even get yourself physically involved.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%.
I missed the whole thing. I think I'm a vanilla person. Oh, I got my glasses on. Sorry. I think I'm a vanilla person, and if anybody asks me if to do anything like that, I would say no because I'm very vanilla. And I don't know if vanilla's bad. Is it bad?
It's not. It's not.
Bad.
No.
I'm
No.
very vanilla, but I couldn't see me want.
The issue becomes
chocolate person being vanilla and not knowing that in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't keep that aspect of yourself private and get with someone with
there you go.
And that
there
you know
go.
what I mean? And that person has the mindset of, oh, you know, we're probably going to be into this and that, and the conversation was never had. And you know you're a vanilla person, but you just keeping it on a low. And then all this time that went past, and now he's looking for X, Y, and Z, and you still on A, B, and C, not trying to do all that other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I ain't Wait a minute, I think Nikki just said something.
Oh, hey,
No, I was waiting. Hey, y'all. Listen, first of all, I'm sitting back here loving y'all today. You know, it's just like bringing, you know, food to my soul, to my heart, because we are at a forum where we can have an open discussion like this. Whereas 10 years ago, people will look at me like I had two heads, you know, and Shelly can attest to that. But what people are failing to believe or think about is like what happens when peanut butter comes with jelly? What happens when, you know, butter gets to toast? Sometimes you can't have this conversation, you know, being vanilla, because vanilla is all you know. But when you connect with someone, I think it's like Yvette Money said, you can grow and evolve into something different. And that's when you know, you talk about these things, find out what happened. You just need to be open. And when you're in love or lust or like, and you just go with the flow, sometimes you end up in places that you never even thought that you would go. So you just need to be open. And if you love and trust the person that you're with, then you explore this together and see where it goes. But it starts with, we got to talk about it. Sometimes I can't talk to you about it because I didn't know about it. I just found out yesterday.
Absolutely. Now, in Viva La Visa's book, How to Keep Your Effing Man, right? She talks about all kinds of things, basically it feels like being a piece. So do we have to worry about keeping our man? Like, is that a worry? Like, is it a worry? Do we have to worry about keeping our man?
I don't know if I worry about keeping my man, but I would have to say that keeping my man is very high on my priority list, if that makes a difference.
I don't think it's a worry either. It's not a worry at all. I think it's a priority, yes, but I don't think it's a worry. You shouldn't worry about it. You should be confident.
Yes. Exactly. If you're worrying about keeping your man, that's coming from a negative place. Yeah, I like that. Confident. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And thank you, Dr. Nikki. That's what I was going to say. Sometimes the word worry is connotated as such negativity. There's a lot of things you worry about. You just don't find yourself worrisome about it. You don't find yourself in a negative place when you're trying to do some things. We worry about paying our bills, but if we get up and go to work every day, or we manage our funds well, it's not such a big concern because we know we're going to be able to take care of that.
Right.
As far as worrying about keeping a man, I always say the greatest confidence for a woman, from my perspective, this is me speaking from my perspective, the greatest confidence the greatest asset of a woman keeping a man is her confidence. Not because she's worried about him going somewhere or worried about what he's doing. First of all, I have to get up and leave the house every day. Again, what things about worry, but that we don't overly concern ourselves with. People say, "Oh, if you go and do this, you could get killed. I can get killed standing on my front step. I can get killed walking across the street. I can get killed on my way to work just doing what I do every day." Guess what? I don't worry about dying, although I know there's a possibility somewhere that it could happen, but I don't overly concern myself negatively with that. And I think the same thing will go in relationships, that worry is not necessarily like Nikki said, has to be overly negative. But yeah, you want somebody to be okay. You hope that they're okay when they're away from you or going. And guess what? If a person can't socialize with other people, and you still have the confidence that he's going to come back and y'all have what y'all have no matter what's going on, then that's not a problem that he has. That's a problem that you're making.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's do the intro one more time because somebody didn't record it. So listen, everybody, we are here. We're talking about how to keep your effing man, right? By Viva La Vie. And of course, Why Money, the author, has the Lifestyle Volume 1. And that's what we're talking about today, because it all goes hand in hand. When you're talking about relationships and things like that, you gotta go deep. You gotta go deep. And one of the things, let's go into another topic. It says, never let your man leave with his boys without emptying his balls first. Now, how the hell are we gonna empty out his balls first? What you mean, huh? Viva La Vie.
That's a tactic. I can't argue with it. You can't argue with that one. Go ahead, preach.
Don't let the vanilla. So go ahead, Viva La Vie.
Please help our vanilla friend.
Yes. Look, all of us smiling on that one.
Real quick. Argue. So,
shit got real.
Okay. When I wrote that, right, what I was saying is, number one, a lot of times, if your guy has friends, let's use this whole example. Let's say he was going out with his boys and they go into the strip club or whatever. I don't know, you have to go to the strip club, but let's just say that's where they were going. And, you just let them go ahead and go over to his homies. All right, so, have a good time, period. However, emptying his balls first means go ahead and fuck him before he leave. He don't necessarily have the urge to do anything while he's out. He may not even want to go out after that because it was, you've been emptied his balls, and it's just like, at the end of the day, I might as well just stay home with you. But however, if he do choose to go out, he'll go out with no intent on doing anything because you took the urge away before he even left the house. So.
And you know what? I can respect you for that. And I'm going to even take this deeper because it depends on my mood. And there are moods when I will do that because that's how I feel at that moment. But there are other times I feel like, nah, I want you to go out and, have that excitement. I don't care. Bring it back home. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it could go either way for me, but yes.
Okay. I feel that. I feel the other way too. Yeah, you're right.
And two, not every man is one and done too. Sometimes they go the second with a continue.
Yeah, like give me a break. Like I'll get round two. Okay.
Oh wait, I can't hear you. What you say?
He won't even leave the house anymore. He won't even want to go with his boys no more because if he ain't one and done, he's staying the fuck home with you anyway. So.
Yeah, but that second round might, knock another chick back out.
Round two is a monster.
Y'all making me feel so vanilla for real now.
Touche.
I feel real vanilla right now, but like really. But all right. So he goes out. He's all empty. But is that a thing of do we do this all the time, or we just doing this because we know he's going out to hang with his boys?
It could be an all the time thing. I mean, and that comes down to your relationship as well. Mm-hmm. Right, just like you said, honey, when you said you may want him to come back with all of that built up tension, and it all depends on the flow. It's a vibe that you would feel, in the moment of him about to leave. Like you said, you're not feeling it. You're not feeling like emptying a tank before you leave out, and you would catch that vibe before he go. Or, he may be so amped up, you're like, no, go ahead, babe. You go ahead, have a good time. I'm gonna be out waiting for you. And he gonna come.
Well, let's keep it real. Some of us, sometimes I'm just tired. Can I say that? Sometimes? Can I just say I be on my job Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. When Friday come, can I rest? Can I rest?
Yeah, and that's real.
Friday, Freaky Friday.
Yeah, that's especially when you get old.
So
like
wait a minute. So can I ask? Is if you tired, It's Friday. You done did your whole work week. You tired. He go out. Is that wake up call in order upon arrival?
See, you know, I'm a morning person anyway.
Oh, okay.
My thing is,
Okay, I'm just saying.
That's
I'm just
our whole
saying.
marriage. You
I'm
know,
just saying.
Smooth is a night person and I'm a day person. So sometimes I feel like guilty because I'm giving this halfway hearted sex because it's, 12, 1 o'clock. But you see me at 7 or 8, it's like, yeah. So, yeah. So he needs to go out and have some fun.
Yeah, and that's all about learning your mate. Because Smooth know you're a morning person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There you go.
So when you learn your mate, you already know, like, you know what, she tired. You know, and Smooth,
That's the
we can joke about that now because he'll call me to see if I'm up. And if I'm not up, he'll decide that, well, he wants to stay out. So we'll joke and be like, he called. I know you like, damn, I answered the phone. You ain't think I was going to answer the phone. And we'll laugh about it because, he might have wanted to do something else. But, see, you get to that level.
Yeah.
But with you, right? But with you in the lifestyle, let's think about this. If you supposedly are not there, he has the right to go. He can go empty his balls somewhere else, right?
That's not the lifestyle, though.
That's not the lifestyle. That's not the lifestyle.
That's where people get it confused.
Yeah.
That's not the lifestyle.
There
That's
are
not the lifestyle
levels
at all.
to this, Shelly. Levels.
Hold on. Okay. Let me help Shelly a little bit.
Already, map out with your partner. It starts with that communication first. So
yes. You don't wake up and do that tomorrow.
It's rules to this to make you comfortable.
Hold on, ladies.
Your relationship. Too.
Ladies, hold on. Hold on for 1 second, because I know coming from the ladies, it sounds one. Listen, Yvette, Nikki, y'all know it sounds one way when it comes from the ladies. The confirmation is most times when it comes from the man. And the fact of the matter is, the lifestyle is not about having undiscretionary multiple partners just for the sake of saying that I'm in a lifestyle because I got a bunch of no, nigga, you cheating.
Right.
Okay. The lifestyle is a structure. The lifestyle has a structure. It has a process. There are processes within this process, and there's an understanding, because the lifestyle as well is not just about sex. It's not just about sexual engagement. It is about developing relationships that will be long lasting if managed correctly. Relationships where there's more social engagement than physical engagement. It's just that when you want to release, when you want to have a little fun, when everybody decides to come together and have a scenario party, or even between couples, if they have particular things that they do with each other that they learned, saw, inherited from being around the lifestyle. Because I say there's a place in the lifestyle for everyone. As a person that had subs, I had one that was just a voyeur. She did not play. She did not get involved with anybody except us in our private group, the group of us. But she would be at a party and she would watch. She was turned on by the energy of the lifestyle. She was turned on by the things that were going on. And like Nikki said, go out and have a good time, but come back and have a better time with me. And that was kind of where she was. She would take her energy that she would have stored up and save it for when we would be together, or the group of us will be together, our small private group, because she didn't have to worry about anybody infiltrating, disrespecting, and everybody was aware of what was going on, because it was a poly situation that everybody was aware of and understood, and everybody was treated with a level of respect and had a place that didn't require them, like we said in the beginning, about worrying.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, ain't no randos at this point.
Randos, that's because it's COVID. But anyway,
no, this is pre, post, during COVID.
Say it again.
Pre, post, and during COVID. No randos.
But if you go to a party,
you gotta get vetted. This thing is not for. It's not for everyone.
Right.
Nope.
I've diminished how many people, and I can really count on my hands, and I'm gonna say it, 2 of the people are here that I would trust in any situation because people have utilized and misutilized the lifestyle and the freak factor. I'm just, for lack of a better term, the only place where they were important, supposedly, was in the lifestyle.
Mhm.
The only place where they had women, a plethora of women or men, if that was their thing, and I'm glad I wasn't there to see none of that, to be engaged with like that, was in a lifestyle. Outside of it, they were virtually unimportant, and they needed that as a confidence or booster. Most of the people that are in a lifestyle, this is just something that they put into their repertoire. It's not who makes them who they are.
Right.
So this thing is really, it's like radio, like TV, talk shows. Everybody can't do it. Everybody can't do it. It's not for everyone. And you've seen people take the plunge and foray into the experiences only to falter, only to find out the work that comes with hosting a radio show, hosting a podcast, hosting a television show, running a radio station, running a #1 radio station. Shameless plug. You know, people think they can do a lot of things until they actually get into it and have to actually follow the rules to the game.
Right.
Thanks.
But all I say is be open to it, because you might find that it's not as bad as what you thought, because sometimes our mind is our worst enemies. You have to question, why do I think I won't like this? How do I know? A lot of people like it. I have more respect of a person who's monogamous because they choose to be, because they were monogamous, then they tried not being monogamous, and they said, I like monogamy better. I will respect that relationship. But someone who's only ever been monogamous, is it a fact that you only like monogamy? That's all you had. You don't have anything to compare it to. It's like having sex with one guy and just be like, oh, this is the best I ever had. Well, I guess so.
Yeah, you ain't got shit else.
And
There you go.
And Nikki and Yvette Money, in this situation, can I ask that do most of the negative opinions and experiences that we hear people exude come from other people's experiences and not their own? Comes from what they're fed about the lifestyle and not their own experiences?
I can't say that.
Yes.
I can't say that because I've tried it, and the negativity came from cheating, because the lifestyle is not to save your relationship. And if that person is a cheater, and well, the way I want to explain this is that what I found out about this person who I wound up having this experience with, because I was vanilla at one point and I was totally against it and everything and wanted to break up a relationship. That's why I was talking about growing into this. So when I actually tried it and learned to understand the lifestyle, and it was a failure for me, because what understanding I thought we had, we didn't. But what I just going out and just trying to learn more about it, because that's what I wanted to do, and that's why I wrote this book, is because I wanted to know more about it to find out where I went wrong. And one thing that I realized is that the sexual fantasies that so many people have, what we fail to realize is that some men and some women actually get off and have their best experiences by sneaking. And that was one part that wasn't even talked about, because a person, some reason, in this lifestyle, what I found out is that they don't speak on that part. They speak on what they want and how far they want to go. But some people don't talk about that. I have the best sex in my life just by sneaking. That they get off better sneaking. And you know what? And I get it in some point, because when you sneak and you do it in a car, or you know, and you sneak and you know, some people, you might have friends over and you're like, come on, let's go and sneak and do it in the bathroom real quick because you want it. That's like one of the best sex and experiment that you may have. And you like, damn, this sneaking shit is good. But you don't want to hear that with the other partner because y'all want to be open and honest. But how they going to be open and honest when they're sneaking and they're getting some of their best experiences by sneaking? So where I had my problem at is sneaking. It didn't work for me because sneaking is being disloyal. And that's where he was getting off at, sneaking. And me, I didn't want the sneaking. So that didn't work for me because I want to be open and honest. I want you to talk to me like you talk to your bulls. I want us to be best friends and be able to understand one another, but it's hard to talk about that sneaking aspect of things. And that's sometimes, to me, that's not talked about in a lifestyle, people who actually get off.
So even in relationships,
hold on. Can we hear from Nikki? I hear that answer. I had a question, but I know Nikki. Go ahead.
It's muted, Nikki. Unmute your phone.
You still talking?
There you go. I'm sorry. All right, I'm muting myself. Okay, two things really quickly. What you know now, I can see how that would happen back then. But now I believe that you're in a place, and what if a guy came to you and said, the sneaking is what's good? In a way, he's telling you, could you be in a relationship with someone that said they were into sneaking? And then it's not like they're asking you, but at some point they'll come tell you that this is what I'm doing.
Well, I mean,
and the second thing is, you are so right because, okay. And I just want to comment that you are so right. People believe that because you're in the life that you don't have other relational or relationship problems. It's not the end all to be all. People cheat for many reasons. There are people that are in the lifestyle that actually cheat, that have nothing to do with sex. So when you're trying to, think about therapy, you have to take that in consideration. Oh, they in a lifestyle? Well, why he do this? It's all kinds of reasons. They're not always sexual.
But go ahead, Viva. Go ahead.
One thing I want to say as far as the sneaking aspect is concerned, a lot of times sneaking is wrapped around that person's lack of confidence with even telling you what it is that they are interested in. Okay. So sometimes people get in relationships and like you said, you would rather the person be open and honest with you, but some people ain't even at that level yet with themselves. So they sneaking for the sake of keeping the shit that they really into doing on a low because they're not confident enough to even be open about it. So most times, in my opinion, I believe that the sneaking is wrapped around just a nigga just not being confident enough to let you know what it is he want to do. So he's sneaking around doing the shit. But I do agree with, if a person came to you from the very beginning and said, I like doing sneaky shit, are you down with that? Now that's being up front with it. But if a relationship is coming to a close because he was being sneaky with the shit and he never communicated it with you, it got everything to do with that person not having no confidence in themselves, period.
And that's where
hold on.
I'm an eyeball. I'm an eyeball because people don't believe that men like myself really exist, and maybe it's because I'm not on the cover of no magazines, or I'm on or got $1 million, or whatever the case is. I always tell people, I said, I ain't that fine, so I gotta work what I got. So, but people believe that men like myself are an enigma or don't exist, where we can tell you straight up what we like. We can be confident in the fact that if that's not your thing, guess what? That's not your thing. That doesn't mean we still can't kick it. We still can't be who we trying to, if we're trying to grow into seeing or what we can do or what we can make happen or whatever the situation may be. I'm just giving you an understanding and a foundation of who I am. And if you can't, again, from the conversational foundational aspect, if you can't even accept me communicating with you from the door, it's like people think I'm lying when I tell them about some of the things that I have experienced. And I'm like, why is that hard to believe? Or is it making it you believe that I'm trying to puff myself up into being this oh, I'm a lady killer. I'm out here and I got joints all here. No, it's not about that. It's about it's like I don't eat pork. I don't like okra. I sometimes, or I dabbled in the lifestyle. I was a heavy player. I had friends that I still associate with from the lifestyle. It doesn't mean that like worry. You see what I'm saying? But at least if I give you the idea of who I am ahead of time or early on, before you overly indulge yourself with time, then you at least have a way to make a decision. But don't be surprised that if down the road when we start engaging and I kind of ease you into some things and some things you like, and because my thing is I'm finding out what you like that you might not even have known that you like or understood until they're implemented a certain way.
Right.
Because everything can be like, boom, we can have a threesome. What we doing? No, that's not how it goes, pimpin'. That's not how it works.
And that comes with knowing your partner too. How you said how you implement certain things. So as you know your partner, you can't just drop the bomb on her. You might have to be a little, swirl it in real quick, and then still in the sense of how she wanted, because like Nikki said earlier, she said not knowing what you really are into in the very beginning, some things you do learn around. I'm sorry, that was money that said that. You do learn these things along the way. And as you grow with a person, you started off with probably only doing just a few things. You're probably open to doing different things, but you only started off by doing certain things. So if you've done more than me, I'm open to you introducing different things to me as time progresses. But that's how, when you know me and you know how I would take these things, that's how you would just introduce it to me rather than just, I want to do this. I'm trying to do this. Are you trying to do this too? You know what I mean? So,
what? Let's put a positive spin on that. Sometimes you just never been that vulnerable in a relationship. Some people feel that, I'm too short, that happy and that comfortable. Like for the first time in my life, I feel like I can be myself. I feel like I can let that guard down. I feel like I can talk about these things, and we in it. But before I got here, I didn't know.
Guard was up heavy.
And it's like when you cook. Honestly, it's like when you cook. When you cooking, you just grab. I pause myself, but do you just grab the meat and throw it in the oven or on the stove? No, it has to be prepared. When you're making a cake, do you just dump everything in the bowl and then just smack it into the oven? No, you have to pour certain things in. You got to mix it. Certain things have to have a certain density or consistency before you put them in. When you cook food and you're dealing with a bunch of people, you can't cook it the same for everyone, because some people suffer from blood pressure, some people have diabetes, some people have all types of issues, so they have to season their own food. You have to prepare it in a certain way for gross consumption, but they have to take it. And when we go places, those of us that like the way we cook at home, and then we go to the repast or to the restaurant or to this place, and you're like, oh, damn, they cook, they ain't cooking for me. No, they did. They had to cook it for everybody, and then you have to make it for your accommodations. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with our relationships. We can't just I'd be a fool, an absolute fool, if I didn't meet you in a lifestyle event or at a lifestyle function, and then turn around and say, yeah, you got 5 sisters out here that, we roll around the country and we get it popping at all the parties, and you gonna come in and doing this. So like, no, you got the wrong one, bro. I'm gonna need you to turn that all the way down. And since that's what you're doing, thank you, but no thank you. Ladies, I'm hearing some ladies, they have, and I get it, the female revolution of what y'all are doing right now, you Viva La Vis with your dancing and the videos that you putting out there, girl, you little powerhouse. and I have a queen that loves you to death. I'm waiting for her to send a question that I need that she won't want me to ask you. She says she can't think of nothing. She's just so excited that you're on here with us. Shout out to Coach Kandaka, Queen Kandaka, Manala, my queen. We making things happen out here. Yes. And Yvette Money, this is someone that I've looked up to since I was a preteen. Wow. And people don't understand, even the foundation of the friendship that we have now, it comes from time being invested. It comes from energy. You didn't just jump up and start dancing and is dancing as well as you did, right? It took you time to get where you got. It took you training. Yvette Money, you've been in the music business, man, since what you got 4 decades, 5 decades in almost? Uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? And people think that you're the Yvette Money now from when you were 14, not knowing what you had to go through. You tell me, and we have conversations all the time about where I came into the business and was able to do what I was doing versus where you came from and the motivation as to how and why and how you got to where you got. And people think when they hear LL Cool J shout you out that it was just instantaneous. No, it took work. And so do these things. Y'all ladies producing and putting works of literature out. If everybody could just write on a piece of paper and have a book published, you know how many more books will be out here? Right. It's a process. So, you know, just getting people to understand, and Nikki says it every time we have a show, be open. You don't have to necessarily accept everything, but sometimes you got to hear people out. You have to see what things are being said, and you will find somewhere in there will be something that you like. People thought I was nuts when I used to tell them I didn't like the choking thing. And somebody was like, choke me. I was like, no, my hand go all the way around your neck. They was like, no, trust me. I was like, okay. And that was but it was a choice that she made knowing herself. And then when it was introduced to me, there are men that have some things they just are not into until they have a particular experience that opens them up. And that was one for me. I got big hands.
You got claws.
And when she was like, grab me around, I was like, no, I'm
consent form first.
But what she said,
in case your ass don't wake up, I need the consent form.
Don't blame it on me.
Exactly. But again, even in that, even as experienced as I was, I got taught something. She taught me how to do that. Right. For her. And then once I learned the techniques, I started sneaking it in on a couple people. And I heard that thing that y'all do that. Wait a minute. She like this. Oh, let me. Anytime I touch when I touch the clavicle and when I touch the clavicle and the head go back.
Can I get
about to have a party in here? You know what I'm saying?
Shelly, you got the waiting room.
I need who in the waiting room?
Waiting room.
Yeah, I think she's controlling the waiting room, bro. Sorry, she's controlling.
I want to get on my laptop.
Yeah, she's got the waiting room, bro. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see something.
Tell her get me out this week. It's all right.
Let me see something.
Because I want to get in this conversation for sure.
Where you at? Where you at?
I hear you.
I can hear you though.
Yeah,
I know.
Train.
I want to get off this phone. Be on my laptop. I got my laptop ready.
Train.
I'm in the waiting room. I got in the house. I'm sitting down.
Train. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I guess
we gotta wait for her to come back. Train. She got the waiting room, bro. How you been, bro?
Good. And I'm like I said, I'm listening to everybody talking about lifestyle. And I guess some things that I think about is when somebody say they truly accept you for you, do they really mean that? If being me is a person that likes to experience the alternative lifestyle, going to the swinger spots, or are you truly going to accept me for me? Or are you just saying that in the midst of us dating, and then when you find out these are some of the places I want to go or be entertained, will you change or be different? Now I'll tell people, Nikki and I have talked plenty of times because I have my memberships to the I call them the erotic spots. I like to go because I like the atmosphere. I like the environment. It's not even about having to indulge with anybody else because I enjoy being with the person that I'm with. I really don't even think about the other.
There you go.
I want to do something different, be more creative, and something that's going to motivate me or fire me up more. That when I'm in that atmosphere, then there's a different me. There's David, and then there's Mr. Goodnight. And Mr. Goodnight will definitely come out a lot more in the atmosphere of that. When I tell people I'm going down to the swinger spot, or I'm going down Saints and Sinners, oh man, they think as soon as you come to the door, there's a whole bunch of just licking and everything. I said, no, that's not it.
They think it's a TV. They think it's a TV stuff.
And that's exactly why I wrote about it, because they automatically think orgy. That's the myth of all things. And before you came on, Dave, we did have to let Shelly know it's not about sex all the time. It's not.
Exactly.
That atmosphere is so pleasant. You can have a good ass time without worrying about nobody fighting, nobody in there shooting, and there's walks of all lives in there. You have doctors, lawyers, you have just regular corporate people, or just regular people, middle class people who just work and may want to go in there and have fun. And nobody cares really what you do, because everybody that's in there is just in their own little world, partying and having a good time.
Free spirit. Everybody got a free spirit.
Very free spirit. You ain't dealing with no racism. You're not dealing with none of that kind of stuff.
Nope.
That's right. And people have, and again, and you was so on point with that, D-Train, because there is a place for folks that don't need to indulge in that space. You want to come soak up the energy. You want to take that energy and release it in the privacy or of wherever you are with whomever you're with, without all those other people around and the need for that. But you got what you need from the experience, from your participation in that location. So
I break it down to 2 words, Storm.
We got books.
There are people that are free. Yeah. There are people that are free, and there are people that have freedom. And freedom, the dumb means there's a cap on it. And I don't want to live with a cap on anything in life. I like being free. And you got to pick what you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, all right.
I was switching gears for a second to talk about these books, because now what's happening is the experiences that these ladies have with us found their way onto pages for other people to experience and get knowledge. So Viva La Beast, let's I'm gonna start with you. You listen, you are IG, you crazy on social media, your videos. What I see more than just dancing is I see empowerment, and I see a voice through motion. I really, if I didn't hear the music and watch what you were doing, I could almost get an idea of where you are in some of your routines and what have you. But let's talk about your training, your background, all the way up to you putting these pages together, your experiences that made you come to this book.
First of all, let's just applaud you for having that vision, right? Because a lot of small-minded men come to the page and they see asses everywhere, and they're looking at it as just what they see with their eyes and leaving it at that. Oh, it just looks like a bunch of ass shaking. It's so way much more than that. You figure that out without even coming to a class, without knowing anything, but just seeing what I post. And so that's number one. I wanted to get out the way. What a lot of people don't really know about me, I actually have not come from any dance experience whatsoever. I actually just taught myself everything that I know. As far as dance is concerned, I never went to dance school. I just been dancing since I was 11. Started a dance group, left the dance group, got pregnant. 10 years later, got pregnant again. Wrote a book, started my business in 2012, and we're going on 8 years in December, teaching women basically how to reconnect with themselves, how to regain their confidence, how to spice up their relationships, and how to meet like-minded women, such as themselves. So it's a way bigger platform than what it is compared to men just coming and thinking that, oh, we just shaking ass, just doing sexy shit. It's more than that. So when you are a mom, when you are an employee, boss, a student, or whatever, and you're spending all of this time catering to other people, and you put yourself last, you don't have anywhere to go that will fill you on that. You know, you don't have anywhere to go where you can release built up tension, where you can try to, you know, be around people similar to the lifestyle, where you will be around like-minded individuals, where you can be yourself and you can be confident, or you can grow your confidence there. And it's literally all through dance. So dance is the tool that allows women to find themselves again, whether it's for themselves or for themselves and their men, or, you know, whatever. So that's basically what it is.
What was the inspiration and the motivation behind the book? Was it from a relationship? Was it just something that you observed? Was it the things that you learned in between pregnancies? What was that that made this book come into fruition for you?
Okay. So when I wrote the book, the beginning of the book, I talk about the reason why I wrote it. So I wrote it because with dancing for 8 years, meeting so many different women, so many different personalities, you run into so many different women with sort of the same mindset, where it's like, oh, you know, I'm not, you know, after they learn a sexy routine or something like that, they'll be like, yeah, I ain't gonna show my man, I don't feel like it, I'm tired, or I ain't about to go home and have sex with him, I ain't about to do this, I ain't about to do that. Just a bunch of what they're not about to do. And it's not about doing it that night or anything like that. So I wrote it based off of the many women that I've met over the last 8 years of teaching. And it made me want to speak to that woman, the woman that feels like, the woman that's comfortable at the end of the day. Because a lot of times when you are in a relationship and time go by, we get comfortable in our relationship and we feel like, oh, he ain't going nowhere. Oh yeah, it don't matter. I go home and I'm going to bed and I'm doing this. And it just becomes different. But when that relationship first started, similar to a job, you giving your fucking all because you don't want to get fired. You want this job, you want your raise, you want this, you want that. But as soon as you get comfortable in a relationship, you start lacking. You start not doing the things that you used to do before. And I wanted to talk to those women, and I wanted to explain to them how you know, you don't need to get comfortable at the end of the day, because, and I have a character in my book, her name is Bonquita. Bonquita gonna come and Bonquita gonna do whatever you ain't finna do. You know what I'm saying? And it's the reality of it. And I basically speak about that in my book, and I talk about way more. What a lot of people don't understand is they think the book is just wrapped around sex. I think maybe the last chapter of the book is about sex, but the book is literally wrapped around, first and foremost, you figuring out who you are, what you want, what you don't want, knowing yourself and knowing your worth. I speak about how sometimes we're trying to keep a man that don't even deserve us. You might need to let that nigga go at the end of the day. He might not even be the one you're supposed to be with. In the book, we talk about you may be with a man that's on the confidence level that you are on right now. Whereas if you took the time to build your confidence, you might realize that you actually go for a nigga that's better than who it is that you have right now. So when you think about the book and you see the title and you see the cover and it says, oh, how to keep your fucking man, the ego will come in play first, which is, oh, I don't need to help on how to keep my man. But in reality, if you let go of your ego and you really dig into yourself, you may realize, okay, number one, you're the number one denominator. You're the denominator in all the relationships that fucking fail. So you need to figure out what it is that you're not connecting with within yourself, and then be like, all right, how do I keep my man that I have, or how do I keep the man that I want?
So Vita, when you're talking about, and I'm listening to you, and we talk about how so often men and women get lazy in relationships because the hunt is over. I have you, like you say, you ain't going nowhere, I ain't going nowhere. There has to be a never level once you get somebody. Now, outside of people married, and I always talk about it on the show, I was like, after you're married, then what's the next level? I don't want it to be grow old and die, because I'm not trying to grow old and die. Like, what is the next level to maintain your relationship? When you speak about maintain, what are some of the key things you say? You know what? In order to maintain your relationship, you need to what? Continue to date again, date your partner. Like, what are some of the tips that you would say to women, even men, about how to maintain?
Well, in the book, it's a chapter called "He's Bored, Sis," right? And of course, it says he's bored, sis, but it could be, you know, she's bored. It can go either way. So basically, it talks about how when you in a long-term relationship, it do get comfortable. You get stuck in a routine, and nobody likes the fucking routine. Nobody wants to just wake up, y'all eating the same breakfast in the morning, y'all going to work, y'all leaving the house at the same time, y'all coming back. Everything is the same. So you can do little slight things that really allows your relationship to not feel boring. And like you mentioned, yes, I will recommend that you do date, but that you continue to date. But here's the thing, right? In a relationship, regardless of how long you've been together, I think the conversation needs to also wrap around, you know how after a certain amount of years that you've been at a job, the manager kind of link up with you and ask you, you know, certain questions like, you know, where do you see yourself still with this company and blah, blah, blah. I think a relationship has that same, you know, fucking mentality where it's hard.
I came on the show and I said that every relationship should be reevaluated after a couple of years or so. If you want to have
checkpoints, gotta have checkpoints.
They were talking right? I said it should have. I say even a marriage should have an expiration date where you have to go back again to see if it's in the best interest to continue.
Gotta have a checkpoint.
When you first started, number one, number one, you were younger. Okay. So you have different needs and wants when you were younger. And things change when you get older, especially if you still with the same person. You probably didn't start with children yet. Now you got kids. Now you probably live together. Of course, you didn't live together in the beginning. It's a lot of different aspects that you must consider now that you are in a relationship and time has went on. Let's reevaluate where we are, you know what I'm saying? And let's see if anything has changed from the fucking beginning. You might have liked pancakes, but now you don't fuck with them. And I'm still thinking you like pancakes, but here I am making you pancakes in the morning. You hate these bitches. You know what I'm saying? It can be as little as that, but
shit.
It could be as little as that, but I believe you gotta continue to talk with your partner regardless of the amount of time that you've been with them. And that's what we don't do. We get comfortable. We just feel like I ain't going nowhere. Why? Because you've been with him for
wait. Viva.
Yeah.
Viva.
Well, wait a minute, look.
Most of us don't. Most of us don't. I'm a checkpoint king.
Oh,
I ask you in the middle of when ain't nothing going on, when nothing's wrong, be like, hey, why you still keep me around? What you like about me? What I'm still here for?
I'm late to the whole conversation, but only thing I saw was Aviva said something, men lit up. The women didn't say a thing. When y'all said checkpoint, y'all light up. How come the two people that's in a relationship, which is Money Do Money and Mickey, didn't say nothing about that? Y'all didn't, but the men, they
wait a minute. I'm waiting my turn.
Yeah, she was getting down. I ain't want to interrupt that.
I'm saying
waiting my turn. She was saying what needed to say. Like, look, kudos, I like that word.
When they say, let's do reevaluation. Let's do this reevaluation. Yes, yes. Y'all ain't say, yes. Y'all ain't like, y'all was just all somber, like, what the hell you mean reevaluation?
No, Shelly, I disagree. My camera just came back on. It was off all that time because I'm setting up for my event. So when I heard her say all that stuff, I came back on my camera. I'm doing two things. Like, yes, I love the word she uses, comfortable. That is the most fearful word. Complacency is worse than fear. Yes, I said it, and I will go online. Complacency is our biggest fear because the only thing constant in life is change. And once you get comfortable and you ain't ready to change, you gonna be left. Facts.
Yes,
and I agree totally what she was saying. I didn't want to interrupt her. But I do believe that all comes with what I was, saying even before. It comes with the friendship. When you lose that friendship and your relationship, you do get comfortable. But if you're still friends and you know you're growing, you still know your likes and dislikes because you're talking all the time and you're discussing things, you're having fun. And then some of the fun that you used to have, the other person don't enjoy having fun no more, or you might find some new fun. But when you keep that friendship, even as you grow, you'll know if in that friendship, if your relationship is still worthy of keeping. Because to me, and when I'm in a relationship, I love being in a relationship and I love being with that, that one person. But if the friendship is what I really like the most, and the relationship part of things that I'm feeling is falling off, if we have that friendship and we're talking about it, then we can still continue to have this friendship, even if we decide later on, as we started to grow, to say, you know what, that part isn't working for us, but we still keep a great relationship. But if we still have the friendship and it's still working for us, we're finding things and we're doing things, the date nights like you were speaking on and everything too, we're still doing that too as well. But I think the basics of it all is being your partner's friend. So you know what direction you're going in this.
I agree with everything that Monica said. We have many different relationships other than our romantic relationships. Some of us are parents. Some of us are just family. Some of us are friends. Some of us are lovers. Some of us are spouse. So when you have more than just one relationship with that person, when y'all not getting along, we can just switch from one relationship and go to the next. And I say some of my couples that I work with, the ones that are easier to move through when they're having issues are the ones that are based on friendship first. Because usually when you are a friend with someone, you can hear those difficult things, have those difficult conversations. It's about vulnerability. You're not vulnerable to people that aren't your friends.
I was on mute. So when it comes to that, like when you talk about, I think I recently lost a man.
You think
no lie. I'm not even lying. I recently think I lost a man. But when it comes to having those difficult conversations, I'm a punk, right? I don't confront them right on. I think the relationship just goes away. So I don't even know how to get out of where I'm at right now. Like, y'all gotta give me some suggestions, maybe. I've been writing the book.
That's called therapy, Shelly. That's called therapy. But you know what? You recognize that. The question is, do you want to do what you need to do to get past it? Do you really want to put in that work to have that difficult conversation to get to the other side? And it's okay if you don't. But a lot of people lie to themselves and say that they want it, but they really don't, because actions speak louder than words.
Look.
Well, that's why I'm sorry. That's why I was reading her book. I was like, how to keep your effing man. So I was thinking, he just recently broke up with me on Facebook, right? He put the whole message out on Facebook. And so I was trying to think of the things that she did. A lot of these things come from a submissive, I feel like it's from a submissive place, meaning, am I right or wrong?
Not necessarily, but go ahead. I'm open to what you got to say. I don't agree yet, but go ahead.
Okay, but it felt like it was coming from a submissive place, a place where you put in all his needs. I mean, not saying that you put it ahead of yours, but you really taking in consideration all his needs. And I guess that's what you're supposed to do in a relationship. I don't know. So is that?
Here's the thing, right? This is the thing that a lot of women need to understand. Before you get in a relationship, and I'm real adamant about a notebook and a fucking pen, you need to write down what you want, what you don't want, in a relationship. You need to know your do's and don'ts. You also need to know where you flaw at. And you got to know yourself, because in reality, you getting in a relationship before knowing all this is real selfish. So if you feel like, number one, nobody knows why the relationship ended but you. Now, basing off of why the relationship ended, then you need to ask yourself, have I done, X, Y, and Z as far as within yourself? It's not about him yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the man. And that's what my book is talking about. In reality, is not the only way to keep a man, number one, is to first know yourself. If you don't know yourself, so I just like how I teach in class, like I'm teaching you about your confidence. I'm teaching you about your confidence within yourself. If you don't have confidence in yourself, the same situation gonna happen just with a different nigga. It's all over. It's gonna happen all over again. And a lot of people rush right into a new relationship without realizing that, all right, I need to take time for myself so that I can figure out what's going wrong in the relationship that I done probably had 3 failed relationships and I keep saying it's his fault. Why don't you take a moment and sit down and figure out what could be wrong with you? Not wrong, but what could be the problem within? Like, is it that I'm going after something that I really don't want? Do I really know what I want? Do I know who I am? And at the end of the day, a lot of times people just end up in relationships because they don't want to be alone.
Yeah, because I had to say that too one time, because I'm dating, who was once my best friend, and we weren't each other's type at all. Mm-hmm. But I had to realize my type wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? They just weren't. And that's why I kept getting into relationships that were failing. Because the type that I was looking for, they just weren't shit. And,
right. And we be thinking about the now instead of thinking about, I want to be with somebody, especially 30 plus, 35, 40 plus, whatever the age is. We don't need to be thinking in a dating type of mentality. We need to be thinking in the midst of, all right, is this somebody that I want to grow with? Is this somebody I want to have children with? Is this somebody that I want around my current children? We're not thinking about, some of us aren't thinking about all of that in the midst of finding a person. So if you're going to be in a relationship, you need to know, all right, sometimes you might look, some women may not ask no questions and end up dealing with a man that probably was a fucking pedophile before and you got kids. You know what I'm saying? You need to have a list of things that you know about yourself that you either don't want or you do want, and you talk to this person ahead of time and you have a conversation with them so that you know if this person is for you or not. And then if they're not, then you leave them. You don't stay. Because in my book, I have a chapter called Real versus Real Potential. And it talks about us as women. We will stay with a man because we already created a version of him in our head that's not him, but we've been with him for so long and we feel like, we stay, then we can mold him into who we want him to be, and it's not even going to happen. He already done showed you who he was from the very beginning, but we still tend to stay just because we feel like the person will become who we want them to be, and you don't waste all of this time, and then we don't want to give him to somebody else because we done molded him into this great man, but he ain't for you.
Hey, Viva, that is so on point. I do a little segment in the morning, Storming in 60 seconds, and that was actually what I said yesterday. When people truly show you who they are, believe them.
Yeah, don't ignore them.
And when you got proof,
you must.
That's a sign. Believe them.
You must
believe them. And guess what? It's not always to your detriment. You see what I'm saying? It's not always to your detriment. Sometimes learning who someone is a benefit to you. It'll stop you from making, like you said, trying to force a person that doesn't fit the parameters that you set. You might find that your parameters are unrealistic. You might find out, like you said, this person is a pedo and you got babies and it took you 6-7 months of playing around and you get around your child, you find, violations. But that's so on point. That's so on point. David said something about dating for fun. What?
A lot of the work starts before you even get serious. A lot of the work got to start with you first before you even find somebody. In reality, when you know yourself, you ain't even going to niggas that don't match up with who you are. You're not lowering your standards. You already know what you deserve. But if you don't know, you just dating this person, that person, and then a relationship end, and you're like, oh my God, I don't even know why. You don't know why because you didn't even take the time to sit down and figure out what you want and what you don't want. You just taking anything because it's available. And a lot of times we just don't want to be alone. But being alone don't mean you lonely. And I speak
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
you're not fucking lonely. You're not lonely. And you need to use this time actively. You need to be actively alone, not just alone and like, oh my God, I'm not with anybody. No, you need to be actively alone, meaning getting to know yourself. Once you know yourself, you're not going to.
Exactly.
And the part of knowing yourself, V,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
put in the chat that the biggest thing when you're looking at yourself is, while I'm out here, am I dating for fun or am I dating for purpose?
Right.
You got to examine that question first. If you're dating for fun, you should only involve yourself with people that are dating for fun.
Exactly.
If you're out dating for purpose, then you're dating people for purpose because you already know y'all walking down the same path. The problem is we get confused with she looks good, he's sexy, she's hot, and you're not being honest with yourself.
Mhm.
Be honest with yourself. Where am I at this place in life that I know I can do and maintain? If I'm having fun, only date those people that have fun. If you're here for purpose, let those people who are having fun, no matter how sexy he looks, how good she looks, you know what? I can't do it because I'm not in that place.
I was just about to add that. We got to have the discipline to not try to still fuck the person that that wants a relationship if you want to have fun.
Yep.
Because a lot of times we're going to still go ahead and fuck the person that actually wants to be in a relationship, and knowing that you already know your intention is not to be in a relationship with them. Then you want to turn around and be like, oh, I wasn't even trying to be serious with you. That's not fair. You gotta be honest with your damn self. Like, number one, if you out here looking for fun, like you said, go for fun. But don't deal with a person that want a future if you don't.
I might have to keep you around for a hot minute.
I know. I want to go back to something you said about being alone and being lonely. Because
Right.
again, I'm sorry, you just preaching this morning. So I gotta get this all out. A lot of people come to therapy. There are a lot of people out there that are lonely. And
Yep.
they think that finding a mate is going to cure that loneliness.
Mhm.
What a lot of what I do as a therapist to be like, there's going to be no partner that's going to settle that hole inside of you to be lonely. So you have to go through that yourself. You have to fix that yourself. There's no person that's going to help you with that.
Yeah, and I had wanted to go back to that too, because I was saying, saying to myself while she was speaking, because if you're by yourself and you don't like to be by yourself, who's going to want to be with your ass if you don't want to be with your own
Exactly.
ass? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, you have to do that part about you.
Nobody.
If you can't,
Being alone, being lonely, then as like you said, who wants to be around
if you can't enjoy, right?
Emptiness is real heavy.
If you can't enjoy the company of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
if you toxic to yourself, what you think you're gonna do for somebody else?
Exactly.
That was a realization that I had to come to years back, because it wasn't that I couldn't deal with my own company. It was that I chose to just be in my own company to not have to deal with people.
Right.
And that wasn't good. That's not healthy either, because human interaction and engagement is natural. But everything, like you said, it's about knowing yourself. And it says it in our word, to thine own self be true. Because you can't lie to nobody. You can lie to other people, but you cannot lie to yourself.
Exactly.
You cannot lie to yourself.
No.
So, and I say this for Shelly because of how I see how my sister is moving. She has the wherewithal and the knowledge about herself enough to know what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she wants to learn, what she's willing to ask about and learn, how to take the time to be by herself, to build herself, to make herself better for herself before she try to be better for anybody else, because she knows how to enjoy and love herself to make herself better. And whoever come through, if they don't understand,
Yep.
honor, and respect what she's doing to make herself better, then nah, bro, you don't belong here.
Exactly.
You don't belong here.
Yeah, because she surely ain't
You can push
lonely.
and pimp.
That girl is getting it.
Period.
Anybody that
Exactly.
comes into your life should be you
I
should
guess
be a
I gotta look at-
compliment to each other, you know, and you shouldn't make one another. You should compliment one another.
Exactly.
There's something real different about personal accomplishment and preparing yourself for people. What I mean is, because you did the school thing and got all the degrees and have a career, doesn't guarantee you a man or a woman.
Sure don't.
And that's not like
Exactly.
that's not a part
Exactly.
of the script of ensuring that you get equality mate. A quality mate is built just on you and who you are, the character that you are, the person that you are. It's not what you own. It's not how many degrees you have, how many houses you have. And a lot of times we feel as though, well, I've done everything the right way. I got the home, I did the school thing, and I deserve a man, or I deserve a woman. That's just personal accomplishments. Personal accomplishments have nothing to do with personal character.
At all.
Exactly.
So that's
Exactly.
using that piece. We can't confuse that piece. I heard so many women saying that I should have
Exactly.
a man because I done X, Y, and Z. That's personal accomplishment. It's not
Mhm.
personal, interpersonal accomplishment.
Right. You did that for yourself. Now
Exactly.
with the relationship is separate. What you going to do to bring to the relationship? You know, a degree not going to save a relationship.
What does that man deserve?
Yeah, that degree not going to save it.
Mhm.
You know, all
What-
them personal accomplishments should not save the relationship.
But you know what?
And what does the man deserve coming into the situation? Because he can be very well accomplished as well. He can be very well educated. He can be very well traveled as well. What does that man deserve? Does he deserve to hear about what he should be because of all of what you've done, or do you complement each other so that what you do for each other is beneficial to each other?
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
I'm
how
sorry,
much
Shelly, what was you gonna say,
personal
sis?
accomplishments are in the workplace anyway. When you come home, those degrees are still stuck on the wall in your office. So when you come home, you can be able to relax, let your hair down, and have fun with your mate. Degrees and all that accomplishments you make doesn't have anything to do with what you two had personally together, where you both connect personally. You know, he could be a doctor and, you know, I could be a singer, but like when we're together, we shouldn't even be focusing on those two things. We should be focusing on what keeps us happy, interacting with one another.
But that strategy,
Them degrees the degrees that people throw in each other's face, that shit don't even get you a job half the time. So you gotta understand that it ain't gonna do nothing for the relationship. It don't make you a better person or anything, because in reality, the degrees that you have, they were for school. They weren't for this relationship that we are supposed to be in. You know what I'm saying? And we feel like we only feel that way because when you put yourself on that because you put yourself on that pedestal and you build yourself up to feel like, well, I have this, I have that. That is not enough for a person to feel like you're worthy for my time.
And especially if they feel they better than you now, because
because now they're throwing it in your face.
Really wrong. And I'm not downing anybody with degrees. Like, go for it. I'm sorry, I don't want to say that. I want you to go for it, get your degrees, do what you do. But we're speaking on relationships, y'all.
Right.
So you just tuned in, anybody. But some of the people that do have degrees, they put themselves on a pedestal and they sit up there. I don't want a man unless he got this degree, he got that degree, and all that. He can still be a piece of shit with a degree. You know?
Wait a minute. I think when people go to say they want this, I had a conversation with somebody that used to be on Single on a Saturday night. It was an amazing conversation. They had a list, and there was a program they did. It was like a women's empowerment thing, and they got to write a list of everything they want. And if a degree, somebody that got money like me, not me, this is not my list, but degree, somebody who's established, somebody who's world traveled, somebody who's this. If you have a list that's that expensive and really plain, it's okay to have somebody that's on a level that you want them to be on, not necessarily about the degree, but on the level you want them to be on. I understand now that the person's list worked for her. Having that list gave, when she was able to meet somebody, it really had checked off. So it's important for her, because she has money, that she has a list that says, I do need someone who is on this level, not because she's down in somebody who doesn't have a degree, who's not this, but the fact that sometimes when you're not on the same level, you're competing constantly with, he don't have enough money to keep up, he's not world travel, he can't speak, it is a divide to me. So I feel like the list and having those specific things of whether it's degree, money, world travel, a passport, whatever that is for that particular person.
I got a question.
Okay, let me, Shelly.
Wait, y'all talking at the same time. David talking, Nikki talking. David, Nikki, go. David first.
I want to ask y'all ladies a question. And I want you to concentrate. Before you give your answer, concentrate on the question. What do you classify a man as a good catch? And I don't want you to use anything with school, money, anything about personal accomplishment. When you talk about a man is a good catch, tell me what are some of the things that makes him a good catch?
Good question.
Good question. You want us to think about it first?
He's respectful. He's supportive. He keeps himself clean. Not to say that he got to wear designer, but he keeps himself presentable, keep himself clean. That he was grounded correctly. Like,
Who's speaking on a man in particular?
Huh?
You're speaking about your man in particular, huh?
But that's why he's my man, because he had all these qualifications. I didn't care if he went to college or anything like that. He was raised well. He was respectful. He still is. He's respectful. He's considerate of me. He have a heart. And we can talk, we can communicate, and we can have fun. If we want to hurry up and go outside and play Ding Dong Dixie, we can play Ding Dong Dixie and run in the house and laugh about it. I wanted somebody that was down to earth just like me, where we compliment each other and have fun. To be honest with you, I ain't going to mention none of the other stuff, but those people, a lot of times, some of the guys with degrees and all of that, they just, to me, I hate to use level because we're human beings, but they, I don't like when people put themselves on a pedestal and belittle you as if you're not worthy to be with them because they have a degree.
But that's why you got your list. Okay, that's your list. Viva, you got a list. I'm gonna go last because I just need to listen to y'all.
And I don't want to hear nothing personal accomplishment. I just want to
hold up. Before I give you my list, before I give you my list, both Shelly and Monica, you just played right into what I was about to say about these lists. Now, here's my thing about lists. For some people, lists are good. For some people, lists are delusions. Because people don't like it when I say you attract that what you are at your deepest core. You want to attract someone that has certain qualities. If you have a certain vibe, a certain aura, you're just going to attract those type of people because that's who you are. Now, you might have a list to remind you, to ground you, to keep you where you need to go. But you need to find out, like, if you're having all these people coming up to you that aren't on your list, you need to take a look at yourself. Like, why am I not attracting those type of people? Now, you can attract those type of people and they're not for you, but you're moving on. A lot of us put these lists together because in our head or in our mind, this is who we think we are and this is who we think we want. But in reality, you are that person that keeps attracting this certain type of person to you. So you need to find out, if I want a man with a degree, it's nothing wrong with you wanting that. The question is, if I want a man with a degree, how come I can't find one? That's looking within yourself. I've known Shelly Shell for a long time, and Shelly Shell, she's been real honest about who she is and what she wants. And you know what? She has these relationships, and they're great relationships, but she all coming to her. But you know what? Not quite right. A little bit to the left. But again, it's not that she's not getting a good quality man. She just might not be getting the man that is for her. So, lists are okay, but you have to put it in perspective. Is this list who I really am or what I think I want.
Right.
Ooh,
Ooh, that was good. Go
man,
ahead, people.
I have to shout over here because you just acting up, okay, Nikki?
Continue, ladies. I want to hear this.
That was a word, okay? Because number one, that was deep, girl. Because at the end of the day, this is what I tell my students. I tell my students this shit all the time. You could say, oh, I want this type of person that do this and do that. In reality, is that really who you are? And that's why if you get the book and you read it and you realize it don't really have shit to do with the man. It boils down to you first. Because overall, yeah, you may want a dude that got a degree with a car and a house and no kids, but you probably didn't finish school. You probably got 3 kids by 3 different men. You probably did. You need to come to the realization of who you are first. And this pedestal list that you have created is not reality. That's a delusional ass list. Exactly what you said. I'm over here. First of all, I got the same shit written down in my book right here, and I couldn't even say it before, but it's all good because we're on the same page. It's basically saying how you can create this fantasy ass list all you want, but none of that, you're not going to attract or find any of that until you actually do the work within. In my book, I talk about how you only will attract somebody on your confidence level. That's female or male. So meaning, if you are a man with low self-esteem, do you really think that you're going to find a woman filled with confidence and keep her? No, you're not going to keep her. And that's the same for a woman. You're not going to find, if you have low self-esteem within yourself, number one, you're probably not even going to have the confidence to approach that man. So you're not going to go for them. You're actually going to find a man who has lower confidence than you or confidence on your level. And that's why it starts with you figuring out who you are first. When you figure out who you are first and you build your confidence and you get yourself together, then you can go ahead and look at that list that you created and find, whatever is on that list. But you're not going to do any of that until you dig within. You gotta dig within first. You want a man that got 6 figures and got a car and got this and that. You think he got any of that by being a punk or being somebody that can't even speak up for himself or somebody that don't have confidence and, know a lot? That means you need to have confidence and know a lot and do these things too. You have to do that first before you will even attract a man that have any of those things. So it boils down to you first. So yeah, the book is called How to Keep Your Fucking Man, but the underlying message of it is you can't keep a man until you know yourself. You can't even get the man you actually want until you become the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Facts.
You said facts. Look, everybody like facts. Now the men ain't clapping on that one. No, you know what? I don't have a list because I'm still developing.
Don't do that, Shelly. No.
No,
Don't do
wait,
that,
no.
Shelly. Don't do that, Shelly.
Okay, no, I'm about to
Don't
say
do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that.
Don't
do that.
Us.
We're meant to.
Y'all. I'm like Yvette Money. Y'all was so on point with it that it wasn't even no need to react because that.
Just mental clap.
That was it.
Right.
Yeah, mental. That was it. Y'all couldn't see me here holding my chin like, yo, they rolling right now. Y'all are so on point.
They definitely rolling. But my thought is, and I always go back to David on this one, right? Compatibility. I'm trying to figure out compatibility versus adaptability. That's probably not a word. Adaptability. I'm very adaptable. I can adapt to a lot of things. And when I adapt, I'm not sure whether I'm having fun or am I just adapting. So how do I know whether I'm or am I just adapting? Because to me, I have fun with other people. Like I had fun with y'all. I had fun with Nikki. Whenever I go out with certain people, I'm like, oh, that was fun. I could be with somebody I'm with, and I'm like, I'm adapting to what's going on because you can still enjoy my vibe because I'm gonna be peaceful, calm, happy, no matter what. But I feel like I'm adapting to a situation and not really enjoying the situation. So
because
that's
do you know the things? Do you have a list of the things that you actually like? And I don't mean a physical list, but do you know what you actually like as a person? Do you know what you like. Because if you are only adapting to situations, it's because you don't know what you genuinely want.
Oh, then that was deep.
Because what it's going to boil down to is imagine this. You are a person that has no idea what you want, who you want. You're just living life as it goes along. You will find yourself in situations where you are adapting to people that do know what they want, because they are presenting situations where they are right here and they're doing their thing, and you are adapting to them. But if you knew what you wanted, then they would have to fucking adapt to you if they want to be in your life. But you're the person that's doing the adapting because you don't have a concrete list or things that you want for yourself.
Well,
So it boils down to that, right?
I'm thinking too that you may have a list. I'm thinking too that you may have a list and you thinking you're adapting to something you actually like, but you don't want to bring your guard down so to that level to thinking that you can't like these things. Because some people have that list that's just so high, but when they're around other people who they think are, and I don't want to say it's you, Shelly, that but some people put people in a lower standard than them. Like, say for instance, if I'm a person that always popping at a high-end club, but my girlfriend take me to this bar and I'm having fun, in my mind I'm thinking I'm adapting because this is not really my life. I'm usually at the high-end clubs, but I'm actually having fucking fun, but I can't let it go because I think I'm lowering my standards. But sometimes you can have fun at one of the lowest points, that you think in your mind is one of the lowest points. You can actually be having fun and don't always have to without reaching for the stars all the time. You can always be grounded and just having a good time and not think that.
What about getting out of your own way, getting out of your own mind,
right,
and taking a risk?
Yes.
Everything's a risk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get out your own way. Sometimes we get our own way, and we in our own head. And if we can get those two things out the way and say, you know what, I'm not fearful of taking a risk. At least I know I'm taking a risk. Everything's a risk, whether you know it or not.
Because people are afraid of the unknown. They are afraid of the unknown.
They're afraid of the unknown because the unknown is going to show up. No matter what you realize, the unknown is going to show up.
Yes.
Take the risk.
Iterating something that I said earlier. Remember what I said, when worry is there, it doesn't have to be worrisome. There are going to be things that happen that you're not aware of, that you don't know about. But you don't stop living because of these things. Again, we don't stop crossing streets because we can get hit by a car. We don't stop going places because of a plane. These things can happen, but you can't live your life that they will happen at every turn. What I was going to say to Shelly, given her situation, is it's okay to compromise. Just don't sacrifice your peace of mind, your sanctity, or your spirit for it. Right. That's all. If you know something is that uncomfortable for you, if you tried it and it's just not your thing, that's okay.
Right.
If you gave it a try, or you want it, like Yvette Money said, I'm a high-end person, but I went to the corner bar or went to the bar around the way and still had a good time.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay, cool. Now it might not be the regular norm, but she knows that this is something that she can do and enjoy herself when it fits her time and needs. Just like what I was going to say after all of you ladies gave your list is, when you have a list, I would just say, if you make a list, make a column right next to it that says why. You want a 6-figure nigga? Why?
Why?
You want a 6'8" dude? Why?
Why? Yeah.
If you can explain to yourself rationally why you want something, I want a woman that can cook. Why? Big homie like to eat. I want a woman that's confident and has independence. Why? Because big homie don't just go to work, punch a clock 9 to 5, and then come back in the crib. He got a 9 to 5, a 10 to 6, a 7 to 7, a business, a LLC, a talk show, a radio show, plays, movies, friends, associates, business associates, partners. No, I can't sit here all night. I got to get what I'm trying to get, because why? I want my children to be able to have something that my father showed me and that I can show and leave and give to them, and that the process is paid forward. But while we talking about paying forward, boss lady, where's she at? She over there?
Who, Nikki?
Yvette Money.
Oh.
No, Yvette Money. I'm the only one that call her boss lady.
It's been
No, you got a lot of bosses on here. You need to be
Boss
specific.
lady.
Wait a minute, there's a lot of boss women out there. That's
No,
what I'm saying.
who do I call? Who do I call boss lady? I call her boss lady. We got away from it because we got into the listen to that other good pieces of conversation. But the lifestyle. Let's talk about lifestyle, volume 1. And it's crazy. We've done this so many times because we had to do it sitting in the interview chairs together. But now here we are. You got another foray into the lifestyle. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the lifestyle.
Wait a minute, you were in the play.
Volume 1.
You were in the play.
He was in the play, which is actually volume 2.
And that's why I say we've talked about it from the interview chairs. We've talked about it from the interview chairs together, but now I'm interviewing my boss lady on this particular aspect of the lifestyle saga.
Well, like I add a lot of like comedy, and as well as giving people just my point of view of certain things. It's it's a fiction. But it's a lot of truth to the fiction too, that some people go through, and some things that I've lived through other people's experiences as well. It's a trilogy, so the first one starts off with them in their college years, where it's called Volume 1, Where Sexuality Begins. And a lot of times, some people don't want to be, as we get older and mature, and we have some children that's in college, we forget when we were in college, where we had a lot of our, some people had a lot of their first experiences, sexually, and this is what this is pretty much based off of, is two best friends. And they are each other's confidant, and they live through each other with the different experiences that they go through and encounter in college. So it starts off with that, and then they get mature and older in part 2, and they start to what can I say, like what we've been talking about throughout our conversation, about how we start to learn each other, and how we can get bored with each other, how things can happen in relationship when you lose that friendship, and trying to find what you once had again, pretty much is in the second part. Mm-hmm. And they're introduced, one of the couple is introduced to the lifestyle as a relationship. It's pretty much guidance from another couple regarding their relationship. And we'll see what happens as they go into part 3, which Storm played in. He played one of the co-stars in the play too as well, once they actually get into the swing lifestyle, which is part 3. So
Well, listen, I have got to say something. Listen, about this book. I have to give you this disclaimer. I didn't know what I expected when I opened this book, because I didn't see the play. I think it was like sentence number 2 or sentence number 3. She go right into this book right away. She had my attention. You ain't got to read no paragraph. You ain't got to read the back, the front. Just start reading from the beginning, and you will know that this is something that you want to say.
Yep. I have a soundbite as a result of that. By what? Sentence 3?
Okay.
Rush, live on the air. She was reading. She was reading it. She was reading the, trying to read the clean version. And I tried to warn her, and she was like,
A clean version?
Any of my stuff never is a clean version. I'm just keeping it.
Yeah,
Listen, it was clean.
yeah.
It was clean enough. I mean, it wasn't vulgar. Yeah.
Listen. Viva La Vie. Let me tell you something. This is a project about we about 6 years in now. 5, 6 years in.
Yeah. No,
and
7 this year. 7 years this year.
Seven this year. Okay, so 7 this year. Again, Yvette Money has been someone that I follow behind almost most of my life since a preteen. From the hip hop days to following the music, to being a part of the music business, to her radio, being a host on her radio show, being a part of plays that she was in, and giving me an opportunity to step out, giving me an opportunity to be a lead in one of her productions. And the first thing she says, "Man, I know you don't like to cuss, but I got this part that I need you to play." And I just kept hearing your voice. And I'm like, I said, "Come on, man, what I got to say?" So she said, "Oh, it's a few F's and a few S's and a few." I looked at the script. I said, wait a minute. But it wasn't, the funny part about it. It wasn't gratuitous. So some people are saying things and doing things for impact, and some people are doing things just for gratuity. And I will give the idea that has come from both of you ladies, that it's about the impact. It's not about the gratuity or the gratuitousness of how things look. It's about learning something, because people, and I'm glad that she wrote these books, because now it's going to break down one of the things that she and I both said about the lifestyle. People thought the play was just about swinging, just about the lifestyle. When you read the books, you'll come to the conclusion and the understanding of what it's about. And it's like she said, what we've been talking about here today. So I just want to say, I want to tell you that you took a subject that is so taboo to so many people, and in the show, how many of the people came to us and was like, wow, that really wasn't what I was expecting, and having a better idea of what was being presented. So to get the book, to go from the play, which is essentially chapter 3, the third part of the series, what made you go back to volume 1, chapter 1, and bring it from the inception?
Bring the prequel of it. What happened is, after the play, if you notice, people were so in tune with the play that they was like, well, what did they do in their college days? Because they kept talking about it, and they kept talking about their experiences. And people wanted to know, well, what was it? I would love to know more about that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it back there then. I'm going to take it back where this all started and where it began. And then I'm going to lead you on up to where the play is. So, I wanted to create that storyline. I wanted to create some fun with it. So while people are reading it and they're learning about the lifestyle all at the same time. And I wanted to do it in a slow pace, but be true to how some people end up in the lifestyle. So
yes,
it can, pretty much shine some light on all those myths that are out there about the lifestyle. Because me, I thought it was the same thing. I thought like, well, it's just an orgy. Orgy have its definition for a reason. But the lifestyle definition is totally different. It's not all about orgies. And I explain that, as you read it and as they learn about the lifestyle too, as well.
And you broke some stereotypes as well. And I said the one thing that I love about my character, because you let us kind of build our own backstories. You picked it up in where we were, but you allowed us to pick some realistic backstories for our characters. Excuse me.
Bless you.
some realistic backstories for our characters. And what you did for my character was just, in my eyes, honestly, it was just amazing because you broke a stereotype. And I got to have so much fun not being what people thought in that respect of the stereotype of the man.
The man.
And with having a particular conversation about what couples go through, and it's the man's fault.
Right.
The man did it. It was, you know, he was the one that had all the girls around, and you just knew he was bound to do it. Oh, he played football and he did it.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the people, I mean, again, we 5 straight sellouts, man. And they made us work.
And it was very diverse.
But it was wonderful.
Yeah, very diverse crowd. That's what I love about it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know? Oh.
Yeah, I remember having this
because the audience
I remember having this older white, I could tell she was an older, you know, Caucasian lady that was calling for tickets. And you know, you can hear it in her voice. And I'm like, well, I said, I just need to let you know what type of play this is. You know, she was like, girl, who you think invented sex, drugs, and rock and roll? I was like, well, okay. Okay, 4 tickets it is then, you know? And I was happy.
And she made sure she found you after the show.
Yeah, exactly.
She made sure she found you after the show and complimented how perceptive you were with the presentation, how constructed it was, because our cast was very diverse, and that just made it for such a you put your hands all on it just the way it needed to be done. Everything from the phone calls to the audition process to the selection process, you know. And now that you have you got something more to look forward to with it. So what is it that you're trying? What is it that you would like to see come out of going back to chapter 1, matriculating in the chapter 2, to getting back culminated to Lifestyle, the stage play as it was seen, and hopefully, you know, we'll see what happens from there. But what is it that you want to see happen now that you've now taken it to the beginning of the process and going to run it forward?
I want to take it back to the female and how men, you know, they misunderstand the women sometimes. We're so misunderstood sexually, and they need to know how things began with us too as well, and how we experiment, and that, you know, we're just not sitting there, just being for some reason men create in their mind that we are good girls and we just only a bad girl with them. But it's more to us than that. And I think that once a man gets to understand a woman, then they won't stereotype us as much, and they won't be at a certain point when they find that woman and they find out that she got something inside of her, and they find out she had these experiences before them, and her wants and needs, that they won't go off running thinking that, oh, my girl's a freak, you know, and you know, I've been looking for this good girl, when they're actually looking for a bad girl, but they don't want the bad girl to be within their
to be the good girl.
For some reason, they can't handle it when the freak comes out of their woman. So I just wanted to shine some of these experiences on these 2 young ladies and their experiences and the challenges that came with it, and even with them not at a certain point in their life, when they're with their husbands, you know, how they can't be open and honest because of the harsh judgment that they think is going to take place because of this good girl standard that we have to live by, and it's not that way no more, you know. So I just wanted to shine some light, because I already had, to be honest with you, a situation with a male that at first I had a male editor. I had to go and get a female editor because the male editor I had said that he changed my book. Like, he changed the storyline and everything. And I'm like, well, what is going on? Like, you're supposed to just edit the book. He said, I'm trying to tone it down, because he never met women who was that promiscuous, you know, before. And I'm like, well, like, this is women. Like, you know, you may not have ran into them, but trust me, these women are out here, and they're getting their freak on. They hear wants and needs just like a man. And he was like, well, no, women, no, I think this is better. This is better. We need to tone this down a little bit. No, you don't know me as a writer. I don't tone shit down. I put it out there the way it is. You know, I'm not saying that every woman had their experiences like this, but there are plenty of them that have, and they're suppressing it, and they're not happy because of this. And if you want to please your woman and you want to make her happy, you need to have these conversations, just like we were speaking on before. And just as much as a woman needs to be open as far as a man's sexual needs, a man have to be open as far as his woman having sexual needs without degrading her.
Yep.
But can I say this? I think that editor that wanted to tone, I think it was just that male's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think all of them, because to be honest with you, when you have some males, and I ran across the story with so many girlfriends and everything too. That's why I wanted to put these females out here with their experiences. You get some males that when a woman, you know, she have these things in her mind, what she want to do in bed and how she want to play things out. And sometimes, you know, it may be something she never did before. But the minute she tries something new or asks them, let's try this, babe, he's falling back a little bit, like, well, where the fuck you learn that shit from?
But
and that's how some men are, because they for some reason they not open-minded to their woman being that sexual.
But that's, you know, some men. But then you got men, and I told this to you the other, you know, there are some men that look at it like, oh shit, like, oh shit, like, I can see me. I ain't gonna front. I go to the club. I'm gonna look like, oh fuck, who they, like.
Yeah, but is it your husband or is it just the man you just fucking? Because it's the difference. Because you get the men that you just have a sexual relationship with will be like, oh shit. But when you get your man, you know, and it's something about that man's heart when he in love with a woman. It's something about that heart, and I'm not speaking on just the men here, but some men that I have encountered or heard situations or conversations from other men, when they make you wifey material, for some reason those men don't want wifey doing that kind of shit.
Not what.
And let me and that's is just
That's
just the creep. That's the right, and it is. But wait. But let's not forget, we're not gonna refute that, because I was the first one to say it. Even some of the brothers, and I am hearing and finding that there are more fellas that are not down as they thought, and it's disappointing, especially for someone like me. One, people come to this platform where they see these kind of shows, and they're used to me being, oh, I'm your big homie, you know, active father, the Renaissance man. If I can't do it, it probably can't be done. Yeah. And people think that that's an act. No, don't get me wrong. I'm an entertainer. I'm a performer. But trust and believe, when these lights are off and these microphones are off, I'm a performer. So whatever's finna take to keep us both happy, feeling good, if we're looking at something long term, then all I did was planted you some seeds for a forest later. So you're not going to be just finding out when we decide, oh, we're actually going to be exclusive and thinking about just being me and you, that I got these tendencies and these wants. No. And don't get me wrong, just because I have these wants and these tendencies from time to time, it's not necessarily a deal breaker if you don't want them or not get involved in them. Sometimes it might just take time to learn more, to find out if a person is really serious. So, and as we said, checkpoints, reevaluations. I will sit in the middle of nothing going on with no problems, no arguments, and say, yo, why you still got me here? Why am I still around? Why you still like me?
Yeah.
I'm kind of shifty from time to time. I can be kind of mean from time to time. Why you still like, you know, people's answers have varied. I was told straight up because yeah, even when you get angry, you get quiet. I was with somebody that used to beat me. You know what I'm saying? So certain things that make things important to that person, that's what makes it important to them. But if you talk about it and you commune and convene about it, you won't find yourself lost if you talk about it. And I wish I could go back and tell my 18, 19-year-old self some of these things because, but then again, nope. Because if I didn't go through what I went through in my 18, 19-year-old self, I probably wouldn't be able to be here 32 years later saying, listen, fam, this is what it's hitting for, boss. Because even though it took me a while to learn it, I can now teach some 18 and 19-year-olds, yo, you're not really ready for that, man. Chill, relax. You got time for that. But I also know that some 18, 19-year-olds are going to have to fall and get up themselves, no matter what I say.
They must. That's true.
Because like sometimes, like say for instance at a swing, you know, even at a swing club, even of people of our peers, you know, sometimes still have a hard time dealing with a real promiscuous woman as far as making her, you know, making her wifey material. So say for instance, if you met me at one of the swing clubs and, you know, just not just you, but some men, if and you know how they always got the pole in there, and a girl may just feeling herself, and she'll get up there, get on the pole. She might even strip butt naked and get on the pole. But guess what? Even though those men in there, they're so open and everything like that, nobody's trying to date her. They might want to fuck her, but they're not trying to date her because we always get labeled that stamp a hoe.
Yeah. That is so true. And they call it putting someone on a pedestal. And a lot of people may want to be in the life, but they don't want to be in the life with their spouse. I find that a lot. That was not my experience, but because before I got with my husband, I didn't feel comfortable enough to, you know, even explore this. So I don't even know what it's like to be single, to go through the life, because again, that wasn't my journey. But what I have found, and you know, doing therapy, it's more men than women, but definitely more women than I thought. They just don't want to share their spouse. They want to do that separate and apart from their relationship. And again, I feel like if that's a part of you, you need to have that conversation. Like, I want to do this. It's almost like that sneaking thing. There are parts of me that I love with you and I share with you. And there are parts of you that I don't want to share with you.
Right.
Most people won't admit that it's easier for them to cheat. And the reason why they're going to cheat is because they don't trust that if they're honest with you, that you'll stay. So they're staying and doing whatever they can to keep you here, even though they know that you might make the choice to leave.
Yep.
Yeah.
But how do you tell your spouse that you want
that makes perfect sense.
other people? Like, how do you
tell them that you want to?
That's 101 ways. You ask 100 people, you're going to get 100 different answers. You know what I'm saying? Like that money said, it's that communication and that friendship first. For me, I know I'm not giving my husband bad news after work. I will schedule that shit for next Tuesday if I know that that's the best time to do it. That's what your relationship is. You got to have that conversation if you want to move to the next level in your relationship.
And that's
and Nikki. Oh.
Wait a minute. Eva, you were saying something? I was talking at the same time.
Oh no, I said that's knowing your partner also, like how Nikki said, you know, she going to schedule it until next Tuesday. She know her partner. You can't bombard them from the moment they walk in the door. You know, some shit you gotta just wait for. You can't just go ahead and bust into whatever you gotta say right away. That's all. I was agreeing with you, Nikki.
Yeah, timing is everything.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, even when you know your spouse too, and you having arguments, you know, some of them you just can't win all of them. You got to pick and choose your battles too as well when you know them. And just like if he know you, like, all right, she gonna win this one because she's passionate about this shit we talking. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to know that person. You know there's some things you gonna win with, and some things you just gonna have to take that L with. You know.
I was just having that same conversation.
But you know what? Don't let it be a breakup. Just because y'all go toe to toe on that issue, don't let your relationship end because y'all haven't figured out how y'all can come to an agreement on that issue.
Like I was just talking to my students about this a couple days ago in class, and I was saying to them how, disagreeing is cool. Coming to your partner about certain things is cool, but it also matters how you come to them. Like, let's say you are a real blunt type of person, you don't give a fuck how you say shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a partner who take things differently, you gotta also take into consideration how they're gonna handle what you're saying. And you gotta step out of your fucking ego to be like, all right, if I want my partner to hear what I have to say, because it's important to me, I'm going to go ahead and tell them what I have to say, how they need to hear it, in order for them to hear it, and not just on some, look, this what it is. I don't like when you did it, and all that extra shit don't work with every man or every woman. It don't work with them. So if you got a partner, if you have a partner that, is blunt and they about to be full out with whatever they got to say, sometimes that full out person need to look at their partner and they got to know how that person accepts conversation. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they'll shut right down like, I don't even know what you're saying. I don't like the way you're talking to me. You know what I'm saying? And now whatever it is that you have to say is not even being heard because you don't know how to talk to that person.
Presentation. Presentation is everything to me.
Everything.
I am not an arguing person. Yes, we can disagree. Yes. We can have a conversation where we're not both on the we're not seeing things the same way. But my thing is, I get to a point where I'm willing to concede where, as Nikki said, don't break up because of something that you wasn't able to handle. I can agree to disagree amicably. I'm cool. I will concede a point if I don't have a fact base or a concrete argument to contend. I'm a concede. Like that Money said, sometimes you gotta take an L on some things. I don't have a problem stepping out of a situation because if I don't have the energy, first of all, if I don't have the energy to even go there, I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say. But then I might need to process my response because if I'm not there at that moment, because I always say sometimes right now is not the time to have this conversation. Sometimes Nikki said she schedules. Even Money said, got to give people time. Viva La B said, give it a minute. Sometimes you can't just drop a bomb on it. Because I'm like, with all that I have going on, I got enough stresses outside that when I come in and I'm trying to be in my place of sanctity and release, at least let me decompress and get outside off me first if it's one of those things. But even when it's time to go there, I'm sorry. Because I don't do it, you can't talk to me a certain way.
Listen.
I'd be like, oh, you think therein lies the problem. I'm explaining to you how it's going to work, how it can work, because don't get me wrong, you can take it there, but then my response after that is usually different, and it involves at some point, peace and hi. All right, talk to you when I walk to you. Peace. I got stuff to do.
Yeah. Look, I have this. I have a chapter in my book. It's chapter 3. It's called "You Can't Take the Heat, Then Bitch." Right.
Okay.
Listen, the chapter is basically talking about, first and foremost, all right, some women work all day, some women don't, some women stay home and they taking care of the kids or whatever. When your man come in the door, you don't know what that man done dealt with during the day. You don't know if it was a good day or bad day, whatever. You're not about to drop all your, and not to say that if you had a problem throughout the day that, it don't matter, but don't drop all that shit on him as soon as he walk in the door, because you don't know what he went through either. You know what I'm saying? So it's respecting the fact that let him come in the crib, let him come in the house and let him get acquainted in the house after being at work, probably dealing with people with negative attitudes, being nasty to him. He probably the boss. and he got to curse people out all day. And, you know, he don't want to come home to an environment that feels like work. He want to come home and feel like, you know, this is a place where this is his sanctuary. He can be comfortable here. He can let loose here. And then if he got something to say, let him say it. If he's feeling some negative way, let him feel it. Or if you have something to say about your day, then you say it. But don't spread it on him as soon as he walks in the door. And the reason why it's in that chapter is because it was talking about the comfortable chapter, where it's about, you know, sometimes we get in a relationship and we get comfortable where we forget that our partner matter too. Like, all right, you may be home with the kids all day, and damn, they fucking drove you insane. But your man was at work all day, you know, providing shit. So his day matter too. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's give each other just a couple of minutes. As soon as he walk in the door, you ain't got to bombard him with everything that you went through. In the midst of him coming home, you give him a second first, and then, you know, we talk about it after that.
That whole family thing is missing at dinner time at the table, because a lot of times that's where those discussions used to come out at, you know, where you can talk in a tone when y'all having dinner and everybody talking and discussing their days. A lot of people don't have dinner anymore at the table, so we miss those discussions like, you know, we once used to have, because I used to have those. You know, I remember when my mom and dad were married, you know, we talk at the table. How was your day at school? Everybody is trying to figure out everybody's day at the dinner table, you know.
On the same page. And nobody hiding shit, and nobody being, you know, secretive about anything. We're openly talking about it, and then providing a solution at the same time. When you're at the table, you're not just listening. It's kind of like, okay, you tell me what happened, and it's like, I can tell you, well, you know, the best way to get through that is blah, blah, blah. And now we're enjoying a meal. We're fellowshipping, basically. And that is what's missing from a lot of households, because kids be over here, the parents be over there, the kids be in a device, and it just be a bunch of disconnect between everybody, and nobody is really together forming some sort of connection with each other in the household.
Mm-hmm.
Can I add another aspect to this?
Yes.
That doesn't just go for men, in my opinion. That doesn't just go for men, the man coming home. Because, and I'm going to use my example. I work from home. My wife goes out to go to work. So I try not to bombard her with dumb shit as soon as she walks in. Give her a chance to decompress. And she has one of those type of jobs where she deals with people working in the health field. Mm-hmm. She deals with, you know, patients that come, you know, she works in the billing department. So she's dealing with people all day long.
Right.
Good, bad, indifferent, or whatever. And it's a behavioral health type of facility, so that makes it even more intense.
Thanks.
So when she comes in the door, I try not to hit her with the dumb shit as soon as she comes in the door. Give her a chance to get herself together.
Yeah.
Then go at her with, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da. But not as soon as you come in. Don't nobody wear that crap as soon as they come.
Nobody want to hear that.
They go both ways.
Go at her with the dumb stuff. wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait till she get decompressed and go at her with the dumb stuff.
First of all, you can't come at me with dumb stuff except on Fridays.
Yeah,
okay? Dumb stuff is Fridays.
Yeah.
Dumb stuff Friday. Let's have a day for it.
A designated date.
Yeah, bro, because you can't bring the dumb stuff to the woman on a regular weekday after coming in from work, champ. She got to go back to work the next day, boss.
There you go.
You're gonna make it hard for her manager or her director or whatever.
So dumb stuff Friday. But before we go like this at the end, I want to make sure Viva and Yvette Money, I need you to go like this. Say, hey, this is Viva La Vie. Here's my book, blah, blah, blah. I need Yvette Money. I need you to go. Why Money? I need you to do the same thing. Hold up the book and just do it like a drop real quick.
So, hey, y'all. This is my book, How to Keep Your Fucking Man. Written for, regardless of your relationship status, it really is just a book that allows you to dig deeper with yourself, and then also see a different perspective from a men's perspective as well. I think the book was for any type of woman, doesn't matter your status, but at the same time, as long as you have an open mind, you will find something in this book that resonate with you. And I think it's also a book that can be passed down to your daughters and all, because at the end of the day, we all need to dig deeper within ourselves to become better women, to be better versions of ourselves for the people that we love. So that's what it is. Thank you so much, y'all.
All right, why money?
And this is The Lifestyle, Volume 1, where sexuality begins. And this is exactly what this book is pretty much about. It starts with two females who are best friends, roommates in college, and they will take you on their journey of where their actual sex life began in college. And it's very detailed with a lot of things that go on in their life. If you are sensitive and judgmental, I don't write for you. Do not get my book. And yes, and they will take you on this journey to where, like I said, sexuality begin. It's a lot of anger involved. You have a lot of fun. You have a lot of betrayal that can happen. And once this take you on their journey where it began, it take you to where they are now married and they have to deal with the judgmental stage in their life and being their best friends to their mate, to dealing with competition. And then competition can lead them into what we call the swing lifestyle. So it's a lot that's going on in here. It's a lot of fun, like I said, and you will enjoy it. You'll enjoy the book. If you are open, you're an open type of person, you will like it.
Hollywood got
You will
swingers.
love it.
You're gonna like it. The Lifestyle Volume 1, Why Money, and How to Keep Your Effing Man by Viva La Vis. Nikki, I think you had an announcement, but I want to say to everybody that just said, Monty is watching, Monica Gladney, Monty on the scenes watching, Supreme is watching, Ebony, she was our guest last time, Ebony, the doctor is watching. So Nikki, did you have an announcement? And I think David, you were showing some paintings before we go. So Nikki, did you want to talk about?
Oh, yes, real quick. Right now, I have a free ticket for a couple for our pre-launch tonight. We're doing a face sitting class. Now,
What?
Your mic, Nick. Your mic.
Your mic muted.
Your mic, Nick. I want to know who's sitting on whose face.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Yeah, who's sitting on whose face? Cover the telephone.
Whose face?
I'm like, hold on. She said a face sitting class?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yes.
What
Don't
happened?
take her idea, Viva. Viva, don't take her idea now.
No, I'm liking it because I'm like, wait, do I gotta cancel a class? Like, I didn't know.
I'm sorry. Someone keeps trying to call.
That's what I'm talking about, Viva.
Next month.
wait, let me hear what she got to say. Let me hear about this face sitting class and when is it and how do you?
Next month is my actual launch date. We're doing a pre-launch today just so I can test all my equipment. We have VIP face-to-face and we also have online. Right now, I have 3 that are paid for that cannot come. So Shelly, I'm giving them to you. Anyone that's interested, you can just send them my way. And yes, this is a face sitting class today, face sitting 101.
I love it.
101, so I can make sure that we're on the same page because I want to make sure it's what I'm thinking of.
It's going to be fun. It's good. But again, we haven't talked a lot, Shelly. You've been doing your 30 interviews for 30 days. And yeah, we have to catch up. A lot has happened, but I need to give these tickets away. So right now, that's your job. But that's why I was in and out. I'm setting up.
Okay, what time does the class start?
7 o'clock.
Where's
Okay.
the location?
It's in Philly.
It's a secret location, but I got the location.
Secret location. Secret location.
Oh yeah, and now speaking of location, my book signing August 31st. I'm sorry, y'all. But
October.
What did I say?
August.
I'm sorry, October 31st, next weekend. The book
That's
signing.
right. And you have to call me because I'm supposed to be working for you. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know if I can buy any
I
clothes.
ain't forget you, Nikki. I ain't forget you.
Put me to work.
Some hors d'oeuvres. I had to do 2-hour sessions so we can social distance, with everyone. The place holds 140 people, 70 people max per session, starting at 1 o'clock, and the last session ends at 10 o'clock, 10 to 12. And we're gonna have hors d'oeuvres, music. You're gonna get a lifestyle drink in there. You're gonna get your book. Your book is included in the price. 25 to for the day hors d'oeuvres and 30 for evening hors d'oeuvres. And we're gonna have some music, take pictures, network, have some fun, get your Halloween bag and everything too.
Is the cast gonna be there?
The cast? Well, I would have to bring the cast for the third one because I'm gonna release that play. I'm gonna release that play soon.
Hey,
Lord have mercy.
So really quick, y'all, I just want to let y'all know, I want to thank y'all for having me today. I was about to say tonight. Today on this interview, I actually had to get off because I got 2 parties tonight that I'm teaching. But I want to send a copy of my book to all of you. So Shelly, if we can give each other's information, I would love to a copy of my book so you can have it and read it yourself. And Shelly, I want to thank you, of course, for having me on this conversation. I think it was dope. We all basically on the same page with everything, and it's just amazing to talk to some other people that feel the same exact way and got the same type of mentality as you. It's dope to always do that. So please give me all your information so I can get these books to y'all. I will send them out to y'all right away. And let me know where I can get your book.
I'm coming with Shelly. I'm coming with Shelly.
You coming? Okay, we're going to set a day to do the class. I'm definitely coming. I'll get you everybody's information that's here. Of course, we see everybody that's here. I'll get you everybody's information so you can send them the book. Thank you so much for sharing your information and being a part of it. We had a great dialogue. I'm sorry I was out for some of it. I still don't have water, but anyway.
Y'all hit me up too about coming to the event next Saturday because I want y'all to be there and get the book.
Okay.
Well, I ain't said y'all gotta come. Y'all gotta be there.
I'm coming. My time, but I'm going.
I want to know what that lifestyle drink gonna taste like, so I'm gonna be there.
Hit me up. It's an aphrodisiac.
If y'all been watching it for 2 hours, I've been sipping on a mimosa the whole time. I've just been refilling it, to be honest with you. So
it's a drink with aphrodisiac in it.
Lord.
My daughter is a mixologist, so I already had her get that drink together for me.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Grown Folks Radio will be there from 6 to 8. So me and DJ Kid Disco, we're gonna be there 6 to 8. You got me down for 6 to 8, right?
Yes.
Okay, 6 to 8. But I have a couple other people coming. Monty on the scene is coming. So I'm gonna send you that. So if anybody's going, if y'all want to come during the 6 to 8 hour, that would be awesome and amazing.
It was Shelly. Yeah.
Yeah, if you could come at from 6 to 8, if you could make that hour. But if not, make sure she got all day, 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 8, whatever those times break down into 2 hours. So it's an all day thing. That's a lot, girl. That's a lot. You go, girl.
Get that money and sell them books.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, she like, look, let's just go. It's go time. Thank y'all so much, David. I think you wanted to but I know you said you had to go. I will get you all the information, and I will see you when Wine Money and I pick the next day to come to a class. I tell you, I want a sexy class, but she want a twerk class. But we'll get.
I want all that shit. I want all of it.
She gonna come to whatever. She gonna come whatever.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, we'll make that
have a twerk class. I'm coming too.
That's Nikki's idea. That's where Nikki is.
Shelly, tag me in any post because I want to follow everybody as well. So thank y'all so much for having me.
Okay, thank you. See you soon.
Viva.
All right, David, you said you was showing paintings. Did you want to show some paintings?
What's up? You mean my black art? Some of that black art?
Yes, your black art. Let's show your black art before we get ready to go because Nikki has an event tonight.
Oh, I like that black shiny ass.
Is that what that is?
Yes. The tale of a strong man I saw.
Yes, okay. Nice.
Well, I gotta come get some, David. Oh, I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
So what do you have an art gallery now?
You gotta take it off mute, David, if you're talking to us as well.
A bunch of different pieces that I have that I'll be moving.
Are you doing an art gallery now?
Been letting go of artwork, selling some of the artwork, but I wanted to make sure that if people wanted certain things, that they can get. So I'll send y'all pictures of everything.
Okay.
It's about black art now. Black art, black art, black art. Gotta be in the hands of us.
Uh-huh.
Okay, look at you. And then first you got rid of your collectibles. Now you get rid of the art.
I gotta go. But I got I got tons of stuff. Tons of stuff y'all don't know about.
Wow,
Erotic, solid stuff. So all right.
All right, so what couple wants the tickets tonight? Who's going tonight?
I want to go, but I gotta check with my mate to find out.
He want to sit on your face, and you want him to sit on your face. Whatever. Somebody better go.
Yes, but we have his daughter, so we gotta.
Y'all not sitting on faces right now. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to check back with all y'all. What about you, David? You on mute again?
I'm at an event in Delaware today. I thought she was in Delaware. I would have went. She said she's coming to Philly.
No, it's in Philly. No.
I know.
Dang, that would have been good. All right, well, who's sitting on faces tonight? Okay, I'm not, because I'm not a couple, but
no, ain't nobody here sitting on faces, and it didn't require couples. But the unfortunate part was I was talking to Smooth yesterday. I ran into Smooth, and we were talking on the phone, and unfortunately, brother, I got a table read tonight for another film project. So, thank God we were able to get back to filming, although I can't get on stage yet, but we can get back to filming. So it's at the same time. So yeah, damn, I told him, I said I was willing volunteer, so come get to Sydney.
All right, so nobody's going right here. So we're gonna go ahead and end this. Why Money, the author, get her book, The Lifestyle, Volume 1. It's out right now. Masquerade Party is on October 31st. Get your tickets at Moolah Entertainment, MOOLAH entertainment.com. Your tickets. We will be there from 6 to 8. That's the Grown Folks Radio crew will be there from 6 to 8, as well as anybody from Single on a Saturday night. Let's go 6 to 8. We will be in the house masquerading and drinking lifestyle drinks and stuff.
Yeah, and stuff.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
What are you saying?
I just was wondering why I'm just getting treated like my name is Staley. I've been trying to talk for the last 15 minutes.
I was trying to end the whole thing. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just get the promo out. But go ahead, DJ Kid Disco. Go ahead. I'm just trying to get promo out so we can.
Let's change the plug real quick. Tonight, tune in to Grown Folks Radio at 8 p.m. and you will hear the replay of the very informative and deep interview with Y Money about the book and about the lifestyle, and she went deep into detail on this one. Real deep. Like I was sitting there like, ooh, damn. It was so risque. I couldn't play it during the day, so I'm definitely going to play it tonight, 8 p.m. right here on Grown Folks Radio and on Facebook Live and YouTube and all that good stuff. Yeah.
All right, so that's
tonight. Shirley Shell, before we close, hold on, Shirley Shell. I'm sorry. Before we close, I have two movie premieres that'll be going on online. One is called Unlawful Choices, and that's going to be November 5th. That's Somali Art Entertainment, directed by Sam Anthony. And on November 8th will be the Eli Lou Sound Mind premiere that unfortunately we couldn't bring to you live. It was supposed to be in April, then in August, and earlier this year, of course, but with COVID, so it's going to be a virtual live event. There's going to be 12 pieces, 12 short films performed to spoken word poetry pieces of art that'll be done, and it's going to be on a Sunday, so you can just sit back, chill. You can go to Eli Lou Entertainment on Facebook and Instagram, ELILU Entertainment, or you can go to my page, TC Caldwell, or by the government name, and we'll try to get it here on IG because the films are dropping.
Is Eli Lou the Eli twin?
Congrats, bro. Keep it going. Keep up the great work.
Eli, yep, yes.
That's the twins, the
Eli Lou twins, yes.
Okay. Nice. Keep
Yep.
going, y'all. Thank you so much for an awesome and amazing conversation. Hope y'all come and make it. What you gonna make? Let me know what you're gonna make. What day you making something? The party or something.
And if you can't make the party, make sure you get out and vote. Make sure you vote.
Yes, Philly vote.
Yes, vote.
Wait a minute. Speaking of voting, November 1st.
Vote.
Speaking of voting, November 1st.
Oh, speaking of voting, November 1st. If anybody wants to be a part of the conversation, there is Gen Xers and millennials talking about their issues, generational issues when it comes to voting and political issues. So it's a conversation. If you want to be a part of the conversation, let us know. But it's November 1st at 4:00 before the game, before the Eagles game, November 1st at 4:00. Who wants to be a part of the conversation? It's going to be Gen Xers and millennials talking and discussing all the issues.
That's what's up.
Yes.
That's what's up. Let's talk.
So make sure you vote. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, just let us know.
I'm one of those Gen Xers.
Yeah, y'all Gen Xers, yes.
Real. That's what we doing? Okay.
Did you say y'all? All right. I guess we closing out. It's your big homie. You know what to do. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you was right here with us on Single on a Saturday night, Pepe. Let's do what we do. Bro, Folks Radio, Shelly Shell, man, Single on a Saturday night. D-Train, Mr. Good Joe, Dr. Nikki Phelps, everybody was here. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do, because that's what we're supposed to do. Hold each other up, pick each other up, don't hold each other down. The only time you look down on somebody is when you want to perk them up where you are, all right?
All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day. And I'll see you in third class. I'll see you at the masquerade party. I'll see you everywhere.